Welcome back, everyone. What a week it's been for Cowboys Nation, and things just got even more chaotic after what might be the most humiliating loss of the season. The Dallas Cowboys walked into Carolina as heavy favorites, expected to handle business against one of the worst teams in the NFL, and instead walked out embarrassed, flat, and soul-searched. But what came next is what has everyone in the league talking. Jerry Jones has just dropped what can only be described as a bombshell hint about the Cowboys' trade plans, and it sounds like a major shakeup might be coming sooner than anyone expected. The message was cryptic, but make no mistake, something is brewing behind the scenes in Dallas. Let's break down exactly what Jerry said, why it matters, and how this could completely change the Cowboys' season. After the Panthers' loss, reporters surrounded Jerry Jones in the tunnel, and the look on his face said it all. He wasn't just disappointed, he looked furious. You could feel the tension. The man who always tries to spin things positively, who always tries to downplay panic, didn't even bother hiding it this time. When asked if the Cowboys were considering roster changes or trades, Jerry paused, smirked, and simply said, "Let's just say, we're open for business." Now, for any other owner, that might just be a throwaway line. But this is Jerry Jones. This is the same man who has made blockbuster moves when no one saw them coming. The same owner who traded for Amari Cooper mid-season when Dak was struggling for help. The same Jerry who went all in for Charles Haley back in the dynasty years. So when he says something like that after a loss this demoralizing, you better believe he's hinting at something big. It's not just what Jerry said, it's when he said it. The trade deadline is fast approaching, and the Cowboys have holes all over the place. The defense, once elite, looked completely lost against Bryce Young, a quarterback who had been struggling all season. The offense, meanwhile, continues to look predictable and uninspired. Dak Prescott looked uncomfortable, and the receivers outside of CeeDee Lamb failed to separate. Even the running game, once a Cowboys trademark, has vanished into thin air. Tony Pollard isn't breaking tackles, the offensive line looks inconsistent, and Mike McCarthy's play calling has become as stale as old playbooks. So when Jerry talks about being open to trades, it's a sign that patience is running out and that changes could be imminent. One thing to understand about Jerry Jones is that he loves the spotlight. When he makes comments like these, they aren't accidental. It's calculated. He knows the media will run wild with speculation, and that puts pressure on everyone, coaches, players, and even the front office staff to step up. Jerry's bombshell comment wasn't just aimed at fans, it was a direct message to his own locker room. He's saying, perform, or you're replaceable. That's classic Jerry. And after this latest collapse, you can bet the team's stars got the message loud and clear. The question now is, who could the Cowboys actually trade for? There are rumors that Dallas has been quietly exploring upgrades at several positions, particularly at wide receiver and defensive tackle. The front office reportedly had internal discussions about adding another weapon opposite CeeDee Lamb, especially since Brandon Cooks has struggled to make a consistent impact. Another name floating around is a veteran cornerback, as the secondary continues to struggle without Trayvon Diggs. There's even been some chatter about possibly adding another running back to complement Pollard, someone with more power to break through defenses in short yardage situations. But the biggest wild card is whether Jerry is considering a move at quarterback. It's unlikely the Cowboys trade Dak Prescott mid-season, but the fact that national pundits are even asking the question shows how bad things have gotten. Dak's body language has been telling. He's clearly frustrated, and some of his post-game comments about execution sounded like veiled frustration with the coaching staff. Meanwhile, fans are growing restless, and "Fire McCarthy" chants were heard online after the loss. This team is teetering on the edge, and Jerry's cryptic comment about being open for business might just be the spark that lights the fuse. Behind the scenes, reports suggest that Stephen Jones and Will McClay have been reviewing potential trade targets from struggling teams. One name that has been whispered in league circles is star defensive tackle Jonathan Allen from the Washington Commanders, who has voiced his own frustrations with losing. A player like that could instantly transform the Cowboys' run defense, which was shredded by Chuba Hubbard and the Panthers' offensive line. Another possible target could be a veteran receiver like Courtland Sutton from Denver or even DeAndre Hopkins from Tennessee if the Titans decide to sell. Adding a reliable big-body target for Dak could help open up the offense, which right now looks lifeless outside of Lamb. But for all the talk about trades, Jerry also hinted at something more subtle: accountability. He told reporters, "We've got to look at everything. Coaches, players, the way we're preparing, it's all on the table." That's a huge statement. It suggests that even Mike McCarthy's job might not be as safe as it once seemed. The Panthers' game wasn't just a loss, it was a flat-out embarrassment. The Cowboys looked unprepared, outcoached, and uninspired. Defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus, who was already under fire, looked completely lost on the sideline as Bryce Young picked apart his zone schemes. There was no intensity, no adjustments, and no identity. Jerry Jones has always prided himself on having a team that reflects his own fiery personality. But right now, the Cowboys look like the opposite of that. You could almost sense Jerry's frustration boiling over during his post-game remarks. At one point, he said, "We can't let games like this define us, but we also can't ignore what we saw out there." That's not the talk of a patient owner. That's the talk of someone who's ready to shake things up. Whether that means firing a coach, benching a player, or pulling the trigger on a trade, Jerry is signaling that he's not just going to sit around and hope things get better. He's a man of action, and history shows that when his back is against the wall, he's willing to make bold moves. Cowboys insiders say Jerry has been particularly upset with how the team has handled adversity. The loss to the 49ers earlier in the year was one thing, but losing to the Panthers? That's unacceptable in his eyes. He reportedly held a private meeting with team leaders after the game, emphasizing accountability and urgency. He told them this season is slipping away and that the Cowboys need to reclaim their identity. That kind of talk usually precedes major decisions. Some around the organization believe that if Dallas loses another game in similar fashion, McCarthy's seat will officially be on fire and the trade phone lines will be buzzing nonstop. Fans, of course, are divided. Some believe Jerry's trade talk is just empty noise, a way to deflect attention from coaching problems. Others are hopeful, believing this could finally be the wake-up call the Cowboys need. One thing is certain, this team has the talent, but something is broken. Whether it's leadership, scheme, or locker room chemistry, it's not clicking. And Jerry knows it. That's why his open for business comment hit so hard. It wasn't just about acquiring players, it was about resetting the entire tone of the franchise. Jerry has always believed that the Cowboys are one move away from being great again. In his mind, a single addition, a player with leadership and edge, can change everything. Think back to 1992 when he brought in Charles Haley. That trade turned the Cowboys into Super Bowl champions. Jerry might be hoping lightning can strike twice. Maybe he sees this as another chance to make a statement, to show the NFL that the Cowboys aren't just another pretender. And if that means giving up future draft picks to win now, history suggests he'll do it without hesitation. In the coming days, expect the rumor mill to heat up. Every agent, every GM, and every insider will be watching Dallas closely. Jerry Jones doesn't make comments like this for fun. When he talks, he's setting the stage for something. Whether it's a shocking trade or a coaching shakeup, the Cowboys are about to make headlines again. The question is whether it'll be for redemption or another disaster. What makes this moment even more intriguing is how quiet McCarthy and Dak have been since Jerry's remarks. Usually, Dak tries to calm things down, but this time, he's been almost silent, offering only vague answers about trusting the process. That suggests even the players feel the uncertainty. They know changes might be coming, and when players sense instability, It can either destroy a team or push them to play their best football. Which direction the Cowboys go next could define their entire season. One thing's for sure, Jerry Jones doesn't like being embarrassed. He doesn't like being laughed at. And after this Panthers loss, that's exactly what's happening. The national media is tearing the Cowboys apart. Talk shows are questioning their toughness, their leadership, even their heart. Jerry won't stand for that. He wants to make a statement that the Cowboys aren't done yet, and if that means blowing things up mid-season, then so be it. So as Cowboys fans anxiously await what happens next, one thing is clear: this isn't just talk. Jerry Jones has drawn a line in the sand. He's had enough of mediocrity, enough of excuses, and enough of wasted potential. Something is about to change in Dallas, and whether it's a blockbuster trade, a coaching change, or a roster shake-up, it's going to send shockwaves across the NFL. The only question is, will it be enough to save their season? Thanks for watching, everyone. If you're a Cowboys fan, this is the time to buckle up, because the next few weeks could completely redefine this team's future. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown, drop your thoughts below on who you think the Cowboys should trade for, and don't forget to subscribe for more breaking Cowboys updates and NFL news coming your way daily.